Hello, my name is Brittany Brew. I'm a former law enforcement officer and am changing careers looking to be a lawyer. To do so, I've returned to school to gain proper knowledge and complete the courses I need to pursue my dreams. Today, I'll be discussing a crisis that's quietly unraveling the legal profession from within: chronic mental health deterioration among lawyers. While attorneys are expected to be composed, analytical, and resilient, they face emotionally taxing situations every day. From criminal defense to family law disputes, what I'm proposing is a shift. Systemic wellness initiatives that prioritize lawyer mental health not just as a personal benefit, but as a professional imperative for the integrity of our justice system. Understanding the crisis. Let's take a closer look at the problem. According to Creel, Johnson, and Albert's national study, nearly 28% of lawyers report symptoms of depression, and 21% struggle with problematic drinking. That's far above average. And these issues aren't limited to isolated cases. They're baked into the culture of legal practice. Lawyers often internalize the trauma of their clients while operating in high-conflict environments that discourage empathy. Shore explains how this emotional burden leads to psychological distress, especially in adversarial legal settings. Sadly, this internalization isn't seen as a red flag, it's rewarded. You see here there's other statistics as well, showing that 19% of lawyers reported symptoms of anxiety, 21% of lawyers admitted symptoms of stress, and 60% of lawyers reported experiencing high stress levels. Now we move on to the culture of stoicism. As Robinson describes it, where emotional detachment and long hours are glorified, while vulnerability is shamed. Expressing stress is often seen as a weakness. This leads lawyers to isolate themselves, worsening burnout and reducing their ability to represent clients effectively. The ripple effects go far beyond individual attorneys. Levin argues that lawyer burnout can erode public trust in legal institutions and increase the likelihood of ethical violations. In other words, the psychological toll lawyers endure affects the entire justice system, not just themselves. Let's take a look at some systemic causes. The roots of this crisis are deep. They stem from high client demands, adversarial courtroom dynamics, and a legal education system that values mental toughness over empathy. New lawyers are trained to suppress emotional strain, entering firms that uphold the same standard. Despite some efforts, most existing wellness initiatives are ineffective. As Roberts reports, seminars and campaigns fall short due to stigma, accessibility issues, and lack of structural support. And with mental health seen as a private matter, there's rarely follow-through on the public level. So, next I'd like to talk about some proposed solutions. What can be done? The first step is embedding mandatory mental health and wellness training throughout legal institutions. Shore recommends CLE courses that teach emotional regulation and mindfulness, giving lawyers real tools to manage the psychological demands of their roles. These programs also help normalize mental health discussions, breaking the cycle of silence. Law schools should also adopt wellness criteria. We need to prepare future attorneys to practice sustainability, both with empathy and resilience. The next possible solution is going to be in-firm support. So, law firms and bar associations must offer internal support. This means confidential counseling services, mental health days, and dedicated wellness coordinators, not as optional perks, but standard professional resources. As Robert notes, existing programs often lack accessibility. Institutionalizing support sends a powerful message. Your mental health matters, and the profession stands behind you. These are just a few things that define lawyer well-being. Emotional, intellectual, occupational, physical, spiritual, and social aspects of a person's well-being are all important to make that person well-rounded. Another solution is possible peer networks and flexibility. Peer support networks and flexible work policies also play a key role. Regular check-ins, mentorship programs, and group workshops create space for shared vulnerability. Robinson recommends peer dialogue as an essential element of wellness strategies. When lawyers are encouraged to be honest about their emotional experiences, myth about invincibility begins to fall apart. Flexible schedules and hybrid work models help professional balance demanding workloads with personal care, preventing the buildup of stress that leads to burnout. Now to address the opposition. Some critics argue these initiatives are too costly. They worry about diverting resources from client services, especially in firms driven by billable hours. But Levin counters that the cost of inaction, lost talent, malpractice claims, reputational damage is far greater. Investing in lawyer wellness isn't just ethical, it's practical. Others believe that stigma will prevent lawyers from using wellness resources. That's why visibility and modeling are crucial. When senior partners lead by example, cultural changes follow. So my last piece will be a call to action. In conclusion, the mental health crisis in law isn't just a personal matter, it's a systemic failure. Burnout and emotional fatigue diminish legal services and threaten justice itself. By adopting structured mental health education, accessible support resources, and cultural reforms, we can build a healthier legal system. Let's stop romanticizing burnout, start institutionalizing compassion, because protecting lawyer well-being isn't just a kind gesture. It's the foundation of a fair and functional criminal justice system. Thank you for listening.